So today we're going to take a look at some advertising in the age of the new abnormal clown world that we're now living in. This first commercial is from Tesco. Oh, God. The men are so terrified of saliva and breathing each other's air that they act like petrified wimps around each other. And the happy, upbeat music is designed to make this entire anti-human dystopian nightmare appear quirky, fun, and charming. Disgusting.
We've all made some changes to the way we shop this year.
Yes, due to government and media propaganda, the public have been reprogrammed into acting like obsessive-compulsive germophobic zombies, afraid that a deadly virus is lurking inside buildings, buses, trains, churches, seats, hard surfaces, and in the mouths and noses of every stranger they meet. But the cognitive dissonance is so strong that they also know on some level that the virus is incredibly elusive, what with the fact that they probably don't know anybody who's died from it. They can't see evidence that they're living in a pandemic from their own lived experience, and if the virus is so deadly, why do healthy people with no symptoms have to be tested to know that they have it?
At Tesco, we're installing traffic lights to manage the flow of people.
Unreal. How is this a thing? Seriously. And it's presented in this light-hearted manner, which makes it all the more insidious. Traffic lights for herding human cattle, I suppose, all designed to manage crowds, make public locations and social settings uncomfortable and less desirable to be in, thus encouraging more online shopping. You can see how this facilitates the fourth industrial revolution. It's just staggering how the brainwashed masses just went along with all of these nightmarish changes.
There are cleaning stations in every store. Please shop alone, wear a mask, and keep your distance.
Human beings being trained like animals in a laboratory experiment to treat each other with fear, suspicion, distrust, and even disgust, obeying absurd social distancing stickers and signs, acting in an entirely unnatural and robotic manner, as if humanity itself is at war with its very nature.
And there are screens to keep everyone safe.
Oh, how cute. We both have the same oppressive, unnecessary, and unhygienic face muscles, which we can barely breathe or communicate through. And she says there are screens to keep everyone safe. Keeping humanity safe from itself, I suppose. So that's Tesco. That commercial was so popular that there's more dislikes than likes, and of course the comments had to be turned off on YouTube. Next up, Heineken. I'm going to go ahead and mute the audio on this for copyright reasons because there's a popular song that plays throughout this commercial. So this guy meets a girl in a bar and he's wearing a face nappy and he's about to interact with her in a normal way, perhaps, shake her hand or hug her or something. And then he stops himself and remembers his reprogramming and brainwashing, so he does that stupid elbow thing. And they're all doing it in this commercial, actually. And I think this is about reducing human contact and associating human contact, touch, or intimacy with something negative and disgusting. To me, that dumb elbow greeting is no different to that other authoritarian revolutionary greeting, the Nazi salute. There's arrows on the floor of this bar and signs blocking off certain chairs. And then there's a guy struggling to wash his hands in the bathroom like an OCD sufferer. And it's presented like it's funny, like a comedy sketch or something. It's one of those everyday challenges we all have to deal with in the new normal, right? In truth, some people probably are acting like this in the real world, and it's because we're living in a cruel and evil global experiment where humanity is being gaslit and tortured day after day with draconian mandates, fear-mongering, behavioral conditioning and modification and social engineering. It's driving people to moments of pure insanity and mental breakdown. None of this madness comes naturally. It's not intuitive behavior to the human condition. It's antithetical to our very nature and our souls as social beings. So this woman is celebrating her birthday, and herself and her friend have masks on. And of course, she can't blow out her candles. What are you going to do, right? I've got a mask on, can't blow out my candles. As you can see, the people standing around the bar at the back also have masks on. Keep in mind, if you showed this ad, or the Tesco ad, to anyone this time last year, December 2019, they would either be terrified, or they would either have laughed it off, right? Thinking it was a ridiculous parody of humanity, or some kind of sci-fi dystopian film. They would never have thought that this was a serious attempt at normalizing this stuff. Whoops, don't ever touch anything again, buddy. The virus is watching you and it's everywhere. It's omnipresent. It knows when a person has stayed too long in a pub, and it knows if they're eating food with their meal or not. And here's two guys, sort of like the guys in the Tesco aisle, trying to pass each other, and they're paralyzed by fear of walking past each other. Two young men, nowhere near the vulnerable age demographic for the virus, of course, acting like they must both have a deadly virus. If this is how you're going to interact around another human being in a social setting, why would you even go to the pub if you're this afraid? Wearing a mask and acting like this is just constantly communicating that you're in a state of constant fear of death. That's not a way to live in this world. It's a way to slowly die in it. Whoa, how dare you? That's not okay. Don't take one of my chips. You could have the virus. And then me or some hypothetical elderly person locked away in a nursing home somewhere might die in an ICU ward. What were you thinking? So instead of blowing out the candles like a normal person, she shakes a beer mat near them and they go out. Because this is definitely not the actions of a crazy person or anything. The guys finally pluck up the courage to awkwardly find a way past each other in a way that best undermines the very concept of human interaction. And lastly, my favorite part, the toast. The people in the bar, who are all treating each other like pariahs and carriers of the bubonic plague, struggle with a basic human social custom. No closer, dude. Not okay. You know we don't clink glasses anymore. The virus could be on the glass that you're about to put to your lips. Keep that thing away. It could be a toxic bio-waste product due to your saliva being on it, which later the bar staff will collect after we're finished drinking out of them. But still, let's completely throw out centuries of human customs and instead simply raise our glasses at a safe distance from each other because we think everyone around us is a ticking time bomb of infectious disease, while smiling at each other as if this night was actually fun and enjoyable, as opposed to the soul-crushingly nightmarish and unnatural freak show of terror and fear of human contact that it actually is. There's one thing better than a night out. Another night out. Because if you didn't follow the rules, we'd all be dead or the pubs would have to close or something, right? Yeah, well, this commercial is from July, and all the social distancing bullshit rules didn't prevent the pubs from being closed again. It didn't prevent a second lockdown happening, and the restrictions, largely for pubs, remain in place even during this Christmas reopening. So the whole thing was nonsense. Keep those Heineken bottles 2 meters apart. Better yet, I'm remaining permanently socially distant from the rat piss that is Heineken for the rest of my life. Also, in my opinion, that Red Star logo has suddenly taken on an entirely new meaning.